Morning, everyone. This is very entertaining. Nadia's trying to clear the back of shot, and all she's done is put everything in the middle of shot.
Well, can you see that? Oh, God. I said to Mark.
I can't see anything. And when you sit down with your great big curly head.
I've shoved everything over to one side. Welcome, good morning, coffee moaners. If you're on podcast, I'm dashing around trying to clear up behind us.
Fine pair of bazookas, madam.
Mark,
sorry, I just thought it's nice.
But what's coming up today?
What is coming up?
We are going to be talking.
Sausages.
We are going to be talking about Philip Schofield's new show.
Oh, that's what it is.
I can't believe it. So, but I really, what we're going to do first is read out your comments on what your initial thoughts and what you think about it.
No,
great.
Hang on. We want to know what you think.
Oh, I'm saying what I think.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Am I ever not straight up?
I really want to share what they all thought was purposeful, kind of willful confusion last night. I literally couldn't believe what you were telling me as you were telling me it.
So we're going to be chatting about that. We are also going to be chatting about Starmer's Sausage Gate.
Sausages.
And the speech at the Labour Party conference yesterday. And and more stuff. Shit art, the Turner Prize.
And his Heckler moment. His Heckler moment.
Yeah. So, but first, what do you think of my top?
I don't like buttons.
You don't like buttons?
Yeah, this button here, right where your nipple is.
I wish my nipple was there.
Where is it? No, like there.
Let's go where are the nipples.
I really like that. It's very sort of rock, chic. What's this?
Do I look like
that a spatula?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
What is that? It's a mirror.
Guys,
a mirror.
What do you think of this?
It's a nipple mirror.
I'm going to cut it off.
No, don't. What you do is this. You check your nipples.
Yeah, well, let's get back to where they are again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're looking gorgeous.
That's fantastic.
But yes, this is my new vintage buy.
Yeah. Your boobs fit it beautifully.
It's Desigual, which this would be about 50 quid at least. Yeah. And I got it for £5.
I like how
it is tight.
I like this bit here. The sort of
bit, the crochet, yeah. But you don't like this bit.
Has anyone else got a button thing? What is it? I've kind of phobia.
I've been married to him for 20 years, and I just found out he hates buttons.
Not all buttons, but certain buttons, like that one, is particularly offensive.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Just whilst we're on this, I really hate. Sorry if anyone's got them in the room. Gold buttons on blazers for women. That's
the exact blazer I was wearing a couple of days ago. So as I went out, you hated my blazer.
I didn't see it. Oh. When did you go? I don't think I saw you go out in it. If I had, I'd have said, stop!
If Lee is here, Lee loves my green jacket.
You don't like gold buttons, do you, Lee? Mind you, he's a bit of a sailor, isn't he? They make me think of sailors.
Let's get on.
All right, well, I think...
News of the day. I don't know, are we going to play the clip of it? We've got it. So you don't need to run off. We're going to play you it. So, but
not
first...
now.
No, first, we're going to do Starmer, aren't we?
You've completely confused me the way you've got about that.
I'm just saying, I want to say...
The problem with you is you
get prepared because I want to know...
You like to think you're good at running orders, and then your running orders go out the window. I sit here like a kind of prized idiot trying to stick to the running order you said at the beginning. You go off-piste, and then I'm fucked all over the place. So let me just show you.
Show, not on
yes,
TV.
But right now, all I was going to play was this.
All again for restraint and de-escalation at the border between Lebanon and Israel. Again, all parties to pull back from the brink. I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages, and a recommitment to the two...
Right.
So he said return of the sausages.
Right. First of all, Dina sent us this, my sister, and I went, and what was the first thing I said to you? I said, oh God, somebody's just put sausages in mouth. Isn't that clever?
How did I verify that it was true? Went directly to that really trustworthy right-wing rag, The Telegraph.
So he went to The Telegraph and he said it's in The Telegraph. Anyway, I just couldn't, I just couldn't be. First and foremost, though, credit where credit's due. The way he recovered was totally extraordinary. My mum and dad were around here last night, and my mum kept saying that over and over again, sausages, hostages. Now, yesterday on my Instagram, I said I felt that why he made the mistake so easily was, I think that right across the world, since the beginning of the military aggression on Gaza, the standard answer, no matter what a political leader is asked across the world, the Western world, the answer has been, we want an immediate ceasefire and the return of the hostages. And I think it's just become like mulch in their mouth. It's not real. It's not authentic. We're still sending hundreds of parts and arms. We are still arming Israel. So America's still sending, well, it's probably moved into billions of dollars worth of arms to America. Stop
To Israel.
to Israel. Stop saying you are doing everything to get a ceasefire, because you're not. It's really easy.
Look, I mean, lots of people saying it's a slip of the tongue. Me too. Too much has been made of this. Faith. It was like, yeah, absolutely. It's all a slip of the tongue. And I agree. Of course, everyone makes mistakes. Of course we do.
But the
thing that I kind of really felt about this was it was kind of like what you were saying. I just think this speaks to something else about politicians, because I was listening to the beginning of his speech in the car as he started, and as he started this kind of, I find it so cringeworthy and so insincere and so inauthentic. The posturing and confront, change the people of change, all of this kind of grandstanding, which is what they all think they want. But it is conferences. But this is why it's all irrelevant and stupid, and actually speaks to the fact that when he made that mistake, they feel nothing about what they're saying. That's what it said to me. It doesn't matter if they are talking about hostages, sausages, Gaza's, absolutely destroyed population. It's sentences, it's sound bites, it's autocue.
Whether it is that or anything else, you mean?
And I think what we're all tired of, and what this speaks to, and again, I agree with all the Labour supporters in the room. This isn't just, the case with the Labour Party. It's with all of them.
All of them.
They
get a word. It's like
political speak.
If you think of the word change, we've heard it thousands and thousands of times, so it just become change, hostages, sausages. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I understand that everybody has their different feelings about that, but I really agree with Mark. Words become mulch, whether it is the Tories, whether it's Labour, whether it's Kamala, whether it's Trump. It's just, they just feed us something. And
it's cardboard. It's all cardboard. It's all really uninteresting cardboard to munch on, because it ticks all the focus group boxes of what needs to be said, and then in fact it's all so cardboardy it could become a sausage. It's meaningless. They feel nothing in the saying of this. Doesn't mean they're not humans, but they don't present humans. And I just want to say one final thought on this. It speaks to something that I think is a real problem here and in America, and we're hearing this a lot off the back of a lot of our American content. We have no politicians who use what I would call, or most people would call, real language and real emotions in their speaking.
Yeah.
That's why focus group to hell, and that's why Trump is doing well. That's why Farage can. On the other side, Bernie Sanders, when he's on topic, is good. We need more people on the left who aren't like Starmer.
Actually talk in a way that people can grab hold of and believe it, from some authenticity, some relatability. And relatability means actually, what is relatability? Actually, that the person you're talking to feels that you're actually feeling something of what you're saying. And in fact, yesterday, I really, really took umbrage with the way that he spoke to that young protester.
Well, should we show it?
Show it.
So this was a moment of heckling.
Every child, every person deserves to be respected for the contribution they make. My sister was I think this guy's obviously got a pass from the 2019 conference. We changed the party.
You're clearing. Make me hear what you're talking.
While he's been protesting, we've been changing the party. That's why we've got a Labour government.
Can I just say what he would? You know what he should have done there? he should have, as the heckling started, any real kind of grounded humanistic leader would have said, stop, let him speak.
Exactly.
Let him speak,
That would have
let
been
him say
changed.
something. And when he said something, even having a real humanistic dialogue for a moment, that would have done him so much good.
I just got goosebumps then.
At the thought that could have happened.
Yeah, I did. I feel like quite emotional because...
Well, that's what I'd have done. I'd said, let the man speak. Do not take him out. Having seen the other guy bundled out by his neck. But this is what the actual heckler had to say when he spoke to Sky News.
Saying anything, it's just when I heard him speak about how he wanted a ceasefire in Gaza and Lebanon, just the hypocrisy on how every day we're still sending British bombs and British bullets that are being used in Lebanon and in Gaza right now. And the Prime Minister, he could stop that. He could stop that right now, but he doesn't. And he says that he wants things to stop, but he won't lift a finger to actually stop them. I was just angry. I mean, myself, I guess, for not saying anything at the time. But again, like I say, just for him coming out to say that he wants a ceasefire, but not taking any of the actions that he could, not lifting a finger in order to do it. And I was just angry. And in the end, I decided I had to do it before the speech was over. I mean, I understand that people aren't comfortable in doing what I did. But I think that there needs to be more vocal line from the party saying, or from the party members saying, no, we can't stand for this. If you really are for a ceasefire, you need to...
Do you know what else? Do you know what else, Keir? That boy was a Labour Party member. He now says he will not be, in the future. Think about the fact that he could be indicative of many other people that are turning away from you. He did nothing wrong. That was off the back as well of Starmer saying every child deserves respect. Well, every child, as long as they're not a brown child. If that boy was my son, oh my God.
The most egregious thing that Starmer said there was when he said he's obviously got a pass to the 2019 conference referencing Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party, which of course was caught in the anti-Semitic accusations. Corbyn himself has not been found guilty of any anti-Semitism. And then when he says the party's changed, he's basically doing in saying that, and this is the most unforgivable detail that tells you everything you need to know about Starmer. He was saying that articulating that opinion, calling out for Gaza, is anti-Semitic because he invoked the 2019 party and how he's changed the Labour Party. That's all that means.
But it was the way he took a step back and smiled all smug. I thought, oh, well done you, human rights lawyer, an 18-year-old boy, committed, politically engaged, 18-year-old boy, a member of the Labour Party, and you just played a game there with all your education and you played a game and you set something off about that boy.
So in passing, Lizzie Russell, that's exactly what I'm saying. He's calling the guy anti-Semitic for calling it out.
Disgusting.
He's equating any call for a ceasefire, for humanitarian aid, to stop selling arms to Israel as anti-Semitic.
He just said every child deserves respect and education. He just said that. I mean, the absolute disgrace of that, when there are children now in Lebanon as well, on a daily basis, being blown to pieces. So they're not... That boy stood up. He hadn't planned to say anything. He was motivated, and you're so right, Mark. What an opportunity to say, because he didn't have to answer anything. I understand that it's, that it's very difficult. It's a minefield if he were to get into it. But if he'd said, stand up, be quiet, let's listen to him.
I mean, MeTube's talking on a sort of practical level, it would then become a town hall. But I think there's even a way he could have still dealt with it. He could have let the guy speak, have said, this isn't the forum for this, but I hear you and I'll talk to you afterwards. There's so many ways. These people, look, it's because they're the Labour Party. Don't get me wrong. We cannot stand the Conservatives. They were the same. They were worse. They were it with knobs on. But this kind of enforced cardboard bureaucratic speak that says all the right words based on a focus group, but speaks to no one's truth or reality in life or feelings. There's no acknowledgement of emotions or feelings, and it's something that really disturbs me because it's increasing
and again, it
everywhere.
shows us that it's inauthentic when they keep saying they want young people to be motivated, to be engaged in politics. A young boy stands up and asks for a ceasefire, and that's how he's treated.
Christopher Cundall. Hi, Chris. Even if he quickly heard his point, said one of his team will get his details and be in touch to
Exactly.
listen in, break down the wall barriers between politics and the public. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and missed an opportunity. But he doesn't have a feel for humans. He doesn't have a feel. He does not. He is so disengaged from us.
It's weird. So weird. So frustrating.
But anyway.
So frustrating.
That boy is my hero.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on. We've done sausages. It was a gaffe, but of course, you know. But and also, just finally, change begins. That's the new logo on the wall now. Change begins. Fucking hell. All right. Change something in the Middle East. Okay, so let's talk about the thing that we're all here to talk about. Let's face it. Should we show the advert? Should we just show it?
Yeah.
Should we just show it? Oh no! What have I done with it? Where is it? Oh, hang on, I've lost it. I have to send it again. So this is the news. What is this? The story.
So this was
Sorry,
popping through, wasn't it, from various people that we know, friends,
Yes.
industry people, popping onto phones all over the place yesterday and everyone was aghast. Now, when I was first sent it, there was no message with it, so I thought it was a joke. Again, I thought it was a joke.
Right.
I just couldn't believe it.
Now
But
we can
have a watch
show
of
it.
this.
Say something just quickly before we get down. Just going to turn the music down. I don't think that's him. I don't think that's him. His chest is much smaller than that. That's not him.
Well, it was funny because when I first got sent that, and then somebody said to me, "Guess who this is?" And I straight away I thought
That's not him.
I thought the vibe is Philip Schofield. So straight away, but I thought that's not his body, so it might not be him. First of all, I can see there's lots of people here that might not have been here at this time for, because we do change the time. So subscribe to the channel, doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and then it will tell you what time we do Coffee Moaning, Monday through to Saturday. So let's get some. I want to get a bit of a feel for what you think. I know very much what I think. But I'd like to know what.
Let's start with Sarah D. Sarah D is going to open.
Should you explain a bit of what the actual brief is on what the program's going to be? So it's Philip.
I thought you had you not?
No, we just saw.
Oh, right. So this is a trailer for a show called Castaway. I think Channel 5 have done this with a few other celebrities in the past. I think Joanna Lumley did one. Maybe it wasn't Channel 5. I don't know. Anyway, it's not part of a series, but this is his show. Basically, Philip Schofield is sent to an island off Madagascar for 10 days with no camera crew. So that wasn't him. I think that was someone else, because there was also a drone, unless he was operating it from his pocket. So he's sent to an island for 10 days, and he's going to share in all of everything he's gone through. He's going to sort of survive, and he's going to share in his story of his life.
There's no camera crew there.
I'm going to read. Do you want to read what? This is what he posted alongside it yesterday. Let me show you this. Now you know how I spent my summer alone for 10 days, no food, no water, no crew. My story of survival both on a desert island and off it.
Okay.
I think you've got the idea.
Initial reactions.
I just want to start with Sarah D. Oh, what a poor man. What he's had to endure. Such a victim. Please is the first comment there. Me too. Laugh out loud. There are no islands like that where there is nobody else on the island. James Campton. Why am I not surprised? More than 2 years away from our screens, and this is considered to be a comeback. 10 days on Schofield Island. The whole island thing could be a bit of a kind of own goal, couldn't it? Anna Marie Shillard. The entertainment world never ceases to baffle me. Thank you. I was baffled last night as Nadia was going through this story. Not only did he lie for 20 years to everyone, he broke his marriage vows, went after a young man, very unsettling. And also, I just want to throw in there, I mean, I'm asking this really. Didn't he do the big interview and then make sure that everyone was tied up in an NDA so no one can talk about it? So am I right in thinking he can't even talk about the thing everyone wants to hear him talk about? I
don't know about that. I know NDAs were signed, but I don't know about that.
His relationship.
But first of all, I think I cringed. If I'm honest, I absolutely cringed when I saw that video. I thought that is so embarrassing. That was my first feeling.
Right.
What was your first feeling when you saw it?
Well, as the story evolved last night, whilst we were watching Married at First Sight, and I various people in the room were getting annoyed with me because I wasn't quite hooking into what you were saying, and I was saying, you kept saying it's him, it's him. I'm like, who? And you said Philip. He's on an island, and I was like, what? He's on an island? He's telling everything. He's on an island. It took me so long to get to grips with it. Then I watched it. I have never seen more cringeworthy, vomit-inducing, potentially backfiring nonsense in all my life.
Tanya, I would like to hear his side of the story. That's interesting because I feel he's told his side of the story. I feel like we've only heard his side of the story because he did that great big spread in the Sun, didn't he, initially? Then he did the other big thing where we
did the BBC interview, and then him and the person he had the affair with signed a mutually agreed
is it an affair?
NDA. No, but it was interesting. He got his story out, as I understand it. This was reported at the time. We did cover this. As I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, he got his side of the story out. We didn't hear any other side of the story. Got his side of the story out. Then NDAs were signed, 6-figure deals were exchanged, legal costs were covered. And the agreement was to never talk about the relationship again. For me, I mean, call me old-fashioned, I'm only saying this myself as an individual. That sounds like stitching it up to me. But I also think it presents a real editorial problem for a show like this. Because by his own NDA, I don't think he can talk about all that stuff. So I presume he's going to talk about everything else.
I mean, who was it that just said what she said? I feel the same. I feel the same way. Now...
Sorry, can I just read this? You'll like this. Matthew Davison, the fact he's not shaved, to me, just screams he's portraying that I'm struggling. He wants us all to feel sorry for him.
He's also very clever. So I think he understands an audience, and I think he knows how to speak to an audience. So I think, yes, I think he'll be very, very careful. Personally, I feel the same as who was it just there that said, he lied to everybody at work. He left people to deal with the shit, I feel, in my opinion. I put it this way, right? If my daughter had met a much older man at her drama school, right? And
so we're talking like in her teens.
In her teens, no, even younger than that, even much younger than that. And then that man got my daughter a job, right? And then after a period of time, this is what he's admitted to, he's snogging her in the dressing room. I would not be happy now, because of everything else that happened, if he now was doing a big here I am. Because from a personal level, as a parent, I would be thinking, so this has all got to be dredged up. Whether he talks about her or not, this has all got to be dredged up again. That person is going to be hounded. The press are all going to be like, it's like, have you taken into consideration those people's feelings? I mean, I have always felt really sorry for his wife. I really have, because I think that none of us will know what the discussions were, and for his kids to have this all taken. And it's like, now again, you're going to tell it all again. And, it is this business we call show, I feel. Like when people have been saying, within the industry, oh, I bet he'll be back on television. I'm always so naive. I said, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's so much, there's so many people he's upset. There's so much shame involved in this. And before anybody dares say this is from a homophobic point of view, it is not at all. I would be like this right across the board. This is about, I have always stood up and against people in positions of power and money and status. I will always stick up for the young person that was swayed by that. Now, people, when they say to me, I've seen it. I was in a soap. I've been in all sorts of situations where I've seen it. And we cannot judge young people in the same way that we would with somebody at the same status. You just do not do that. Like I am very aware that there is a massive hierarchy within show business, just like there is in so many businesses, right? The hierarchy of a presenter. I'm a presenter, compared to everybody. Like I will often say, like if I see somebody being treated unpleasantly by another presenter, I will say to that person, well, just bloody tell them they can't do it. Well, of course they can't, because the hierarchy is very, very, very clear. And you cannot underestimate how, when I was an actress, I was on a movie once where I saw a young actress with a very famous star, and she really was naive. I tried to warn her. They were having drinks. Next thing we know, he's taking her off to the villa. And the next morning, all I can say is, I will never forget that girl's face. Now, I'm not saying the same thing happened with Philip. I don't know what happened with Philip. But what I'm talking about is I've seen how stardom and power can intimidate a younger person. And I think we have to be, in our industry, we have to be really firm about it. There has to be really clear lines.
Well, but also, okay, so people are saying, no one was found to have done anything illegal. He was let go. He was fired. There was he did a sort of exploited position of authority.
That's what I think. He didn't do anything. Like he said straight away, I did not do anything illegal.
No, but I think.
What about morally?
Yeah, but I just want to go back to your analogy, because I think for people, placing your own child, whether it be your own son or your own daughter, in an equivalent situation, I think there is virtually no shadow of doubt as to how the vast majority of people would feel in the instance that, the affair started, the NDAs were signed. There are so many elements to this where the controlled aspect of the story just makes one feel uncomfortable. And yes, of course, that speaks to the fact that no one will now know everything. No one now can know everything.
No, we don't know.
And no one can, and one has to go on a hunch and a feel. I think someone just mentioned here, is the show, and you just said it. I find it, I'll tell you what I find more crass and embarrassing actually than even him. It's the fawning efforts of the industry that seek to kind of turn around to this and go, oh wow. It's like some people, not all obviously, but have some people in showbiz got zero capacity to hold a feeling or a thought or an idea about something before being sort of blinded by, oh, look, the joy of showbiz and a comeback, and it's all.
The point that I really want to make is people in positions of power are the ones that are responsible to have the impeccable behavior. Now, the fact that Philip has said that he's gay and that he was, tortured by that, I have full sympathy for that, right? So this is not about that. But I would always call out a person in power now, like, because some of the stuff I've seen in the past in when I was an actress, I wish I'd said more. But again, myself, I was intimidated, you're starry-eyed, you're worried about what's going to happen. I get that. That's why the person at the top, the person that doesn't have anybody that's about to sack them, is the one that must behave impeccably. Sorry, I just think that. And it would be the same if my 18-year-old daughter went to work in an office and the 60-year-old boss was snogging her in the office. I'd feel exactly the same way. And I don't think people in showbiz have the right to be thought of any differently. That's what I think.
I agree.
What do you think?
I totally agree. I don't, so many people go, oh, nothing illegal. It's not about the legality or illegality. It's about where do you stand about it yourself. I often say this to people I've worked with in the industry, outside the industry. If a sexist comment is made or a really lewd sort of suggestion, my line on this often, because everyone knows I have daughters, is like, you're saying that about someone who's the same age as my daughter. How would you feel if it was your daughter? If that was your daughter, if that was your sister, if that was your mother being talked to, treated in that fashion? And what people seem to not do with this is they don't place their own sort of person in there, and actually it is deeply discomforting what happened here, even though it might sit on the outside of or within legality.
Well, listen, when he first admitted to this, his very first thing he said was, I didn't do anything illegal. And that is clear to the letter of the law. But what about being the grown-up? in the room? Where does that come in? Who's the grown-up in the room?
Just going to plop this up. There he is, looking quite
you are
dishevelled.
madly attracted to your 18-year-old female or male junior worker, you are the person responsible to say that is not right. This kid is starry-eyed about me.
Francis Johnson says this is going to go the same way as the Prince Andrew interview. I don't know. I don't think it will.
Well,
I
no,
think
because he's very clever because he's gone there on his own.
Well,
so he's not going to be asked any bloody questions.
But what's really funny is somewhere I read him saying, or someone saying in his sort of representative or whatever, saying something like this. He's been around so many program makers. He knows how sound, camera, and so I mean, apparently the idea is that he does film himself all the way through this for 10 days. I want to know how he's going to cope without a vape. That looks like a man who's not had a vape for a couple of days. How much of that is,
I just want to know this.
It's like Robinson Crusoe, isn't it? I mean,
he is long in the tooth enough to know that this is going to stir everything up for all the people he lied to and all the people that he hurt, and all the people he left to clear up the shit. And I just think, why do we need to know your story again?
Well, we're not going to know the part of the story.
story.
Everyone needs to know. And also, there he was with his vape. I just want to know how he's going to be without a vape. I mean, it's just...
He's probably taking vapes.
Do you think he's allowed vapes?
So this is an interview of himself. Yeah. He's going to be interviewing himself. He's probably...
Mark Cooper says, give him a didgeridoo.
He's probably going to edit himself as well.
Wow, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? No, interestingly, I bet I'll be fascinated to know the legal team will have to watch the rushes as they're editing it, and they'll probably have to look at in extraordinary detail at the details of the NDAs in question as well. They'll have to be matching the two to see what can be said and can't be said.
I don't feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for all the people that are in the... are in the fallout around him and his life and the way that he wanted to do his life. And I just think it's really cringe.
So this is going to be, I think it's over 3 nights. I think it starts on Monday. Here's the killer question, guys. Who's going to watch it? Yes or no? Are you going to watch it? Here's a couple of quotes from X. If this is designed to make people feel sorry for him, it will backfire massively. People were just starting to forget, and now they're raking it all up again.
Well, I don't care about them raking it up with him, but I care about the people involved around him.
This is a disgrace. How the fuck
I feel sorry for his wife, for his colleagues. I feel sorry for the person in question that obviously you won't talk about because they've both signed an NDA, but we all know it's going to mix it all up for him again.
This person said, I don't have a problem with Schofield being marooned. Hopefully they left him there to eat berries, ramble incoherent thoughts, and walk around aimlessly for the next 20 years. Sam Wilson, I quite like this one. Philip Schofield alone on an island with a camera for 10 days. This is obviously a moment where Alan Partridge came up with monkey tennis, I think. This is kind of suggesting scraping the barrel.
And who thinks that, is there anybody here that really thinks that he's been badly treated and that he needs to have a space to tell his story? I mean, I really do want to know. I mean, I really am interested because, you know me, I just feel very strongly about
this. I think a number of comments have come through saying everyone deserves a second chance. I think anyone stepping in, and I don't have an opinion on that. What I find is, I just find it crass. I find it embarrassing. I find it cringeworthy. I hate the feeling of these people and individuals and some of these shows where they don't think viewers see past the fucking manipulation. So the cod music, the walking, the feeling,
just feels very self-indulgent. And I feel sorry for the people that haven't been able to tell their story or that have been involved in this. The people that have had to rise above and not say anything and be accused of all sorts and had the fingers pointed at them. I mean, I think Holly was left to take a lot of the shit. I don't think that was fair. Why is it so often that the woman is left to take the shit? And very quickly, I felt a lot of people were defending him and attacking her. And I found that so weird. I mean, I don't know either of them. I say hello, but I don't know them. So this is really me, just like you, just as a viewer, just going. And I would never have said anything as long as he was a colleague in the same corridors. But I think he has put himself here for us to have an opinion. That's what he's done.
Yeah.
And people are going to have an opinion.
And also, I think it's really important to know that because he can't and won't legally be talking about the relationship, the affair, whatever you want to call it.
No, we don't know. They might have done something different on that. We don't. I don't think we can definitely say that.
Well,
I mean, NDAs can be changed. They can be shifted. People can agree and disagree. We don't know. We haven't got a clue.
Just even the kind of stage management of sending him to an island and him sort of having to survive the metaphor. The metaphor slaps you in the middle of the face like a baseball bat. It's like metaphor survival. Got to survive.
No, but it's also like, I'm going to go away where I can just show you just me. Almost like there was nobody else that was hurt or like affected. But I mean, my God, I mean, maybe his wife 100% supports it. How can we know? But bloody hell, if I was her, I'd be like, are you having a laugh? You're going to go and rake this all up again.
And there you have it, guys. Well, we're going to end it there. Thanks, Nads. We all wanted to know what you thought, and now we know.
Well, yeah. I just think it's like as you know, whenever these stories come up about abuse of power, I am I don't care if somebody is just 18 and it's seen in the letter of the law as legal. Yes. I just think, where is moral legality?
And
the person in power takes the position and says, no, I can see this kid is starting. The kid doesn't really doesn't really fancy me, this 65-year-old man or whatever. This is somebody who's in awe of my position and my power. And I will always stand up I'm always amazed how many people get really cross with me when I say that. And they say, well, she could have walked away. Well, she could have got a cab home. Well, he could have da-da-da. It's not that simple. Yeah. Go back and really think about what it was like when you were like 18, 19. Exactly. Were you ready to deal with that sort of thing?
Hindsight Productions is a wonderful thing, and everyone has it, and everyone tells us how people should have done and what they should have done and how what I'd have done and what they'd have done. Anyway, just toe curling for me. Toe curling. All right, guys, have a lovely day.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.